So I think we got a bit of an exclusive on the channel today because as far as I can see, no one has tested and reviewed the new Trailtalon from INOV8 yet. So a big shout out to Lee for hooking us up with an early pair. So the new Trailtalon is the latest evolution of INOV8's popular rock light range. And this has been designed to sort of go anywhere. So whether you're running on wet muddy trails or drier, more compacted gravel paths, INOV8 say this can do it all. So let's dive straight into the video, take them out for a thorough test run and find out if that really is the case. Welcome back folks, hope you are all fit and well out there. I'm Lloyd Purvis and this is Run4Adventure. So we're back with another new model of trail running shoe from INOV8 and it has definitely been a busy year for the brand, that's for sure. So a new logo, rebranding and a complete redesign of their trail running shoe lineup. If you've ever wondered what goes into designing and developing our running shoes, we've just uploaded a really interesting video from our trip earlier in the year where we went up to the Lake District and we got an exclusive behind the scenes tour of INOV8 HQ. We had a fantastic couple of days and it was amazing to see the amount of work and time that goes into developing and designing our running shoes, and I think it's a really interesting watch. So I'll leave a link in the description below for that video so you can do just that. But let's get back to the Trailtalon and give you guys a few facts and figures. So the shoes retail here in the UK for £130, so a pretty reasonable price point. As far as weight goes, my pair in a UK 10 tips the scales at 331 grams. So not the lightest trail running shoe out there. So that's going to be interesting to see how that affects performance out there on today's run. We've got an overall stack height of 31mm at the heel, 25mm under the forefoot, giving you a 6mm heel offset. And speaking of 6mm, if I flip them over, we also get this nice chunky 6mm lug design on the outsole. So the Trailtalon should definitely be able to handle wet, muddy UK conditions. The shoe's going to be available in a standard and a wide fit option, but you can see from my pair, which is the standard fit, because of INOV8's new anatomical foot shape design, you actually get a fair bit of width in that toe box anyway. And I've really been enjoying that roomy toe box feel in my Trailfly, so I'm sure I'm going to enjoy it in these also. As far as construction goes, we've got this nice lightweight engineered mesh covered in lots of small perforations to increase breathability. And we've also got a lot of overlays on this upper. So wrapping around the heel there, working down the midfoot, around the lace eyelets, and then finishing up, wrapping all the way around that toe box. And yes, I think that does add to the overall weight of the shoe, but I also think it's going to help when it comes to durability. The midsole utilises INOV8's PowerFlow Pro foam. So the same foam that you get on their new road shoe, the Roadfly, which we've just tested on the channel, and on the Trailfly. But you do get a deeper stack on these. So the Trailfly comes with 29mm at the heel and 23mm under the forefoot, whereas I've already mentioned this gets 31mm and 25mm under the forefoot, and that's been paired up with a very comfortable pair of INOV8's boomerang footbeds inside the shoe. I'd say because of that deeper stack of cushioning in the midsole, it's not as flexible at the midfoot if I compare it to the Trailflies, but still not too bad considering this is a brand new shoe. There's still a bit of flex there. And then the all important outsole, you can see we've got this nice chunky aggressive 6mm lug design, and this has actually been inspired by mountain goats apparently, and that's INOV8's words, not mine. And then you can see we've got the little green logo on the heel there, so we also get a good helping of INOV8's super durable graphene grip rubber. So there you have it folks, a quick roundup of the stats and the construction of the new Trailtalon. Now, I really wanted to find the perfect testing ground for today's run, to give these a thorough testing, and I want a big mix of different underfoot conditions. So we are heading to Tahiti Woods today, and I haven't run there for a while, so I'm really looking forward to today's run. We should have tarmac, gravel paths, lots of rooty, slippery trails, and we've had a fair bit of rain down here in Cornwall, so there should be plenty of mud to deal with. So I think that's going to be perfect testing grounds for these. So without further ado, let's get to the woods and let's get running. to Tahiti Woods in all this glorious sunshine. We have got lovely weather for today's run. However, when the sun is out, Tahiti Woods can be a busy place, and all the car parks were absolutely rammed. So I literally had to abandon the car on the road and run to the woods, which is actually a good thing because I got about a mile or just under a mile running on the tarmac in the new Trailtalon, and I've got to say I definitely noticed that extra depth of cushioning in the midsole when I compare it to the Trail Flies. Not that that shoe's uncomfortable on the tarmac, but this definitely gives you a bit more cushioning underfoot. I'm actually really surprised how dry the woods are today. You know, we've literally run on compacted firm trail all the way so far, but I am just about to head down the trail to the right of me, and there should be some mud there. It's a lot more sheltered, doesn't get a lot of sun, so it normally sits very wet and very muddy. So that's going to be a good test for the shoe, that's for sure. So let's get down the trail, let's see how it goes. You have to be so careful with all these leaves on the ground. We've got rocks and tree roots hidden. Not as muddy as I thought it was going to be, but still a good test for the outsole. Okay, we are on our way back, and it's been a great first run. Perfect running conditions today, it really is. Sun's out, temperature's just right. Beautiful to run in the woods when the weather's like this. And Tahiti never disappoints. We've literally had a bit of every type of terrain you can imagine, from pavement, loose gravelly trail, rocky trail, rooted trail, trails covered in leaves, and we've had a bit of mud. Not as much mud as I'd like, but we still had a good helping of mud, that's for sure. And the new Trailtalon has soaked it all up with ease. I'd also say if you're ever in Cornwall, Tahiti Woods is definitely worth checking out. If you're going to come out for a run, there's around 9 miles of trails in the woods, believe it or not. Or if you're not a runner, great for a gravel bike or mountain bike, or just brilliant to bring the family. It's such a lovely place to have a woodland walk, loads of wildlife, lots of crazy squirrels to feed, and there's a big duck pond. And you got a lovely cafe in the centre there, does good coffee and homemade cakes. So what more could you want? But all that aside, we have just ticked off 7 miles. I've got a little bit of trail before I pick up the road, then about 3/4 of a mile on the hard stuff until we get back to the adventure bus. So let's get back to the studio, and then we'll wrap this video up with a quick conclusion on how the new Trailtalon from INOV8 has performed on today's run. Well, it was good being back in the woods for today's run, and I reckon we had pretty much perfect running conditions. So nice and sunny and bright, temperature was good, and there was no wind, and I managed to clock up a good 7.61 miles by the time I got back to the adventure bus, and it was just a good afternoon all round, you know. Body felt nice and strong, and the new INOV8 Trailtalon performed well on a big mix of different terrain. But we'll start off with fit first, and like pretty much every other INOV8 shoe that I've ever tested on the channel, I would recommend going up half a size in the Trailtalon because they do come up a bit short. So by going up that half a size, it's going to give you that extra bit of length in the toe box. Speaking of the toe box, again, it was nice having that extra bit of wiggle room up front from this new anatomical foot shape design that INOV8 are now using across their range of trail shoes. And you know, it felt like it would remain comfortable for long periods of time. And even though I had that extra width in the toe box on my foot shape, the upper still felt nice and secure. So really nice lockdown around my midfoot and good hold in the heel. I also love the fact that we get some nice padding in this gusseted tongue, and we've got a nice soft flexible ankle collar, because these are two areas of INOV8 shoes of old where I have struggled in the past. Some of their older models had very thin tongue designs, and I could sort of feel those laces pulling through and irritating the top of my foot. And there was a couple of times where I tested shoes out that had a very stiff ankle collar that actually started to sort of dig into my ankle bone and cause quite a lot of discomfort, especially on longer runs. So I'm happy to say this isn't the case anymore, and I personally think that the changes that INOV8 have made their uppers run a lot more comfortable. The Powerflow Pro Foam midsole performed well in the woods today, and you know, we definitely gave it a thorough testing because we had pretty much every type of underfoot conditions you can imagine. And like I said earlier, this is why I love taking shoes to the woods, because it's such a good testing ground. So I think in total we probably ran a good 2 miles of pavement and tarmac, and the new Trailtalon soaked it all up with ease. And this midsole was actually nice and comfy on the hard stuff. But what I like the most is the fact that the midsole is cushioned enough to give you a comfortable ride, but it's not over cushioned to the point where I lost sort of ground feel and connection, like it can be in a lot of sort of deeply cushioned trail shoes these days. So when I did pick up the more technical sections of trail, it wasn't a problem. You know, I felt nice and comfortable, well protected, but more importantly, stable and well connected to the ground under my feet. I was actually really surprised with how much more cushioned this midsole felt when I compare it to the INOV8 Trailfly, considering there's only 2 mil of extra depth on that midsole. I suppose the downside to that is that this Powerflow Pro Foam doesn't seem the lightest foam in the world when you compare it to some of the other compounds that other brands are using. So obviously you add more depth to that midsole, it's going to add more overall weight. So with the Trailtalon weighing in at 331 grams in a UK 10, you know, it's not the lightest trail shoe out there on the market, and I think maybe stripping 20 or 30 grams off it in the future would be a good thing. All that said, they didn't run heavy. It actually felt pretty well balanced out on the trails. And then flipping them over, let's talk all about the important outsole performance. So the first thing I'm going to say is I expected it to be a lot muddier in the woods today. We've had quite a bit of rain in the UK, so I thought it was going to be bad, but not too bad at all. A couple of shorter sections where it was muddy, so we still got to test out this 6 mil lug design, and it passed the test really well. I could feel those lugs really digging into the mud at times and giving me good levels of traction. But what I also liked is this lug design seemed to clear the mud really quickly and really efficiently, and that definitely helped give me a good level of traction throughout the run. As far as grip goes, the graphene rubber felt nice and sticky on today's run, and this has been an issue in the past for some runners, and they felt when they were running out there in sort of wet conditions, they weren't fully confident with the level of grip the outsole was giving them. I actually think the old graphene rubber was super durable, you know, it'd hold up to lots and lots of miles, but maybe it was a bit too firm and it wasn't sort of digging into the rocks. INOV8 claimed that they'd changed the sort of blend of rubber this time around on their new lineup, and it was going to give us more grip in wet conditions, and I've got to agree with them. You know, the Trailflies and in these, I felt like this graphene rubber is a lot more consistent when it comes down to grip, and I actually felt super confident underfoot on all the terrain I ran today. So wrapping up with a quick conclusion after today's first run, and I think the new Trailtalon from INOV8 performed well. I got a nice balance of comfort, protection and stability from this Powerflow Pro Foam midsole. I did actually mention before the run that I was a bit concerned because it felt quite a bit stiffer than my Trailflies, but I really shouldn't have worried. Once I got running, performed well, and the shoes felt nice and flexible. The engineered mesh upper was nice and breathable and plush wrapped around my foot, and also I got that nice sort of roomy fit and secure feel. The only issue for me, and it's not really a big issue, and that is the overall weight of the shoe. I would like to see it a little bit lighter. I just think it would make the Trailtalon feel a little bit more nimble, a little bit more agile when you're running on more technical trails. And we do have those crazy long INOV8 laces again. Although when I mentioned that when I reviewed the Roadfly, there's a lot of you guys that actually like long laces, so maybe that isn't an issue at the end of the day. But you know, I would really be splitting hairs because like I said, I enjoyed the run and I actually think it would be a good long run option, especially if you're crossing over to a big mix of terrain, roads, gravel paths, you know, compacted trail, deep heavy mud. I think this shoe could soak it all up. So let me know in the comments, guys, if you'd like to see me test the new Trailtalon on a longer, more challenging run. And on that bombshell, it brings today's video to an end. Really hope you enjoyed it. Really hope you found it helpful. Don't forget, guys, if you did, to like, comment, share, and subscribe if you haven't already, because it really is a big help to the channel. And if you'd like to support us even more, we've got some great Run4Adventure merchandise on our website. So we've got hoodies, cotton tees, we've got enamel camping mugs, we've got some lovely new multi-wrap designs, perfect for winter, and lots more. So you can check all of that out at Run4Adventure.uk. And we've also got a Patreon page where you can support the channel for as little as £2 a month. So I'll leave the links for those in the description below. But until next time, guys, thanks for watching, thanks for your support. We'll be back here very soon, and as always, stay safe and keep on running. So I think we've got a bit of an exclusive on the channel today, because as far as I can see, so the new Trailtalon is the latest evolution of INOV8's popular Rocklight range, and this has been designed to go anywhere. So you can see from my pair, which is